How will you show up if you knew the one who got your back is the one who owns the universe? How will you carry yourself if you knew the one who has you never fails? How will you talk? What kind of business will you do if you knew the one who owns you never fails? My name is Grace from Glaciera International, and today I want us to talk about the power that holds us together, the one who keeps us moving, the one who keeps us taking steps, either small or large, as long as we are taking steps. I want us to open our mind and to open our hearts to receive the power that makes the world move aloud, that holds us, that makes us do things that we never thought was possible. I want us to look in the book of 1 Samuel, the story of David and Goliath. We know it, but you read it. 1 Samuel verse 17. I will not read the whole of it, but let's read. David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you've defiled. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head." You can see the courage, the confidence with David. You can almost feel it. He's telling Goliath. Goliath, you remember the story of Goliath? He's this giant. Everyone from Israel, including Saul, who was the king, Saul and his men were running away from from Goliath. But the reason why they were running away from Goliath, it's because they were using their own abilities. They were looking at themselves, and then they look Goliath, and they knew there's no way they can defeat Goliath. But when David came, he came with another kind of power, another kind of belief. He knew this man on his own, he cannot bring him down. But he knew there's someone like David. He knew there is a power. David had a history with God, and that is why we can see him so courageously telling Goliath, this day, God will put you in my hands. I'll cut off your head. And I think Goliath is wondering, what's this young boy saying? But David had a history with God. He knew what God can do. He knew what God had done in his life. Was saying he had history with bears came to take the sheep. He went and get them, and he removed the lambs. The lion came, and the same thing happened. So David knew what God can do. And now we can see the same, now what has been happening behind in the bushes. Now it is coming out in limelight. David is here, and he sees Goliath, and he's like, who is this? If God has been able to help me to deal with bears and lions, who is this man? Who is this before my God? What if God can do that back there for me? What can he do here? And we see David coming with the same courage and with the same intensity, and so courageously telling Goliath, I don't care who you are, what I know is that my God is able, and he will bring you down. You can imagine with just a slingshot and a stone. And David was able to bring Goliath down. One thing David knew, though, is that in his own abilities, he cannot bring Saul down. He cannot bring Goliath down. And that is why we can see him, even with his stone and the sling, he knew the power that will bring Goliath down. It's not the stone, It's not a strength, but God took those things David had and he empowered them. He threw the stone. How good is he at aiming? And the stone goes direct and hits Goliath in between the helmet, and then Goliath is like down. So this morning, who do you put your trust in? What do you think God can do for you? Or why do you think he can't do something for you? What relationship do you have with God? Do you think God is able to do those things, those things you think they're impossible? What kind of obstacles are you facing today? What kind of obstacles are you going through today? What kind of fears are you holding on? And you are trying on your own, in your own abilities. You've been trying, nothing is working. You've been running away because you know an enemy you can't confront, you cannot conquer. And that is why you find Saul will not have defeated Goliath, even with his army, because the king was afraid. Saul was afraid of Goliath. And whenever he went back, of course, the armies went back. They retreated too. But now here comes this young boy who doesn't care. You know, I don't know even how David was thinking, because maybe to him, everybody's running back. But him, he's like, you know what, let's go, guys. And you know, when David went, all the others followed. Because I think now, here the one who's reading, I think it's also very important, the courage of who is reading. And so in your life, you have to know you are the reader. You have to read your life. Otherwise, you live behind scenes. You live running away from all Goliaths, because Goliaths are there and they are many. You leave this one here, you go and find another one there. So the best thing is to confront them. And you have to know, if you just know, you cannot win them. You cannot win the war on your own. The battle belongs to God. You are just taking a position. Maybe you are just talking. Maybe in the mighty name of Jesus, get out of my way. You know the power you're using is not the power, but you have to speak. You have to do something. Goliath came with his spears and his javelin, but David came with a stone. Excuse me. And he won because he had trust in his God. He knew what God can do for him, and he did it. He delivered just as he had told Goliath. So this time I want to ask you, if you are there, you are held back by your obstacles, you are held back by your Goliath. You think this is too big for me, I can't handle. And instead of confronting it, you are running back. You are running. God wants you there outside. God wants to go and confront it, because there, at the confrontation, that is where now the real power is shown. God will not show you the power. You are seated at the comfort of your house, doing nothing, just playing. Oh, you have to get out. You have to take the steps. You have to take the action. And as you move, God will empower you. God will give you words. You go to speak, God will give you words you never thought you had. And you also be surprised, wow, did I say that? You do businesses you never thought were possible, because you thought you didn't have such knowledge. But God is waiting on you to go there. You have to go in the field. Remember, Goliath did not meet David back at his home. David went to meet Goliath. So we have to get out of our comfort zone. We have to get out of our bushes. We have to get to the limelight. You have to do whatever it is that you've been fearing to do, simply because your mind is showing maybe it's too big, you can't handle it. But I want to tell you, the moment you make a decision, I'm going to face this Goliath, because I'm not doing it on my own power. I know the one who owns me never fails. I'm going to do this business. I'm going to do this business, and I can never fail, because one who got me never fails. So wake up, go and confront your Goliath. Goliath will not meet you in bed. Goliath will not meet you in your house. Goliath will not meet you while you're doing nothing. You have to go, and so that the power is in the action. The activation is the action. Take action, and you'll be surprised what you can do. David put Goliath down, and guess what? David was celebrated. People changed songs, people changed tunes from Saul to David. So if you want to be celebrated today, get out there. Go and do what you have to do. So thank you, and remember to subscribe.